Hello and welcome to my new video. Today we will discuss C41 chemistry. So I bought the new kit for me, which is Fuli Hunt kit, and I think about this kit for a long period of time, and finally I pulled the trigger. It's a little bit more expensive if you buy it because it's a 5 liter, but anyway, I never prepare solutions for 5 liters, so I make a small dilutions and develop in batch. And because nowadays I have a Yoba system, I can develop in batch for 5 rolls of film of the 120 or 35, and it's kind of a perfect match for me for 500 milliliters. And I always want to try the original chemistry, which is patented for C41 from Fujifilm or from Kodak, but because from Kodak you cannot buy it anymore, we have only one option, which is Fujifilm, and it's the closest what you can buy. And for me, more interesting part is the color and stability of chemistry, what you can expect, how it works, how it looks, what's the difference between the different kits like Bellini, Tatanal, whatever kits you can buy on the market today, and if I can see any type of improvement in terms of the quality of the film itself, what I develop, how the final product looks like, what's the difference, and can I complain about something about quality of the chemical storage bottles and things like this. I hope it will be a really interesting video for you, so stay tuned and let's go to the darkroom. Kit comes in this type of box, and inside we have a manual, and for development we need also distilled water. It's quite big manual, but we will go for it a little bit later when we unpack all the chemicals from the box. The biggest bottle is a Blix, and I think the second largest is Fix, and you have 3 bottles for development, and I need the empty bottles, so I will remove the bottles from array for chemistry, back in the storage, and prepare the bottles for C41 fresh chemicals. When you first open it, it looks like you need a lot of things to unpack in your brain and read the manual and just check how many bottles you have, which labels on the bottles you have. But on a second glance, everything is easy. You just need a few measuring cylinders, few syringes, and you're ready to go to prepare your batch for 500 milliliters. Because the manual written for 5 liters, you can easily divide it by 10 and prepare 500 milliliter one batch solution, for example for 5 or for 10 developments in the Yoba drum with the extension. I will use 2 rotations, so it's not single shot development, and I will adjust for the second run for time. The developer in this kit contains from the 3 different bottles, so I need to be precise with the dilutions because I'm not using the full bottle, I'm just using small amounts. And I think this is the biggest downside of preparation of 500 milliliters if you don't really have anything for dosing solutions, which is not that great. And as you can understand, the syringes, it's good enough, and the plastic cylinders a little bit on the margin of error. And for volumes of the water, I just use the scales because my big measuring cup is not really precise, so I prefer to just weight it down with water, but don't use it with the concentrated chemicals, especially acids, because density of these solutions, it's not 1, so it's not water, you cannot really weight them down. So it's only for water, and the rest of the things I will do with the measuring cylinders and the syringes for precise measurement. Especially important for part B and part C of the developer. Use the precise syringes and just drop the smallest amount. As you can see here, it's around 5 milliliters. So if you mess up a little bit, it will be quite crucial with the concentrations, so it's a little bit tricky, so probably it's a good idea to prepare the whole 5 liters. But unfortunately in my lab I don't really have such volume, and I prefer to just make the chemicals fresh and develop like 10 rolls of film, and after that just discard the chemicals and just start the new batch. But medical syringes is quite good alternative for dosing. It's not crazy precise, but precise enough for our application, and you can use them multiple times if you thoroughly wash them, but also they cost basically nothing, so you can just use it one time if you want. I use it for black and white chemistry and for color chemistry, so it's really good. And the one difference of this manual, they actually suggest to mix with water each step of the solutions and also make the final dilution. And I think it's prepared for 5 liter measuring flasks. So you can basically dose it inside the measuring flask and top it up to the level of the final volume of the solution, and you can be crazy precise with this type of dilutions and this type of measurements. And probably in future this is really good idea how to make dosing for 500 milliliters or 1 liter or even 5 liters of the solution in the same time. Second step is the bleach, and it's quite simple, so you just dilute it. It's 1 part solution without any problems. Only one downside, I need to dose it several times in my measuring cylinders, so your precision drops a little bit, but it's not crazy important and not crazy off from the volumes which is required for the development. So I will try and see how it looks on a 1 roll development. Nevertheless, so far the kit itself looks reliable and really easy to use, and the bottle's nice. And this 500 milliliters of the solution can develop from 5 to 10 rolls of film, and it really depends on the ISO of the film what you're using and freshness of the solution, so do not try to push it too hard. So I will develop probably around 8 rolls of film and discard it afterwards and mix the new fresh solutions. But good way to judge it by eye. If you see your developer looks a little bit funky and it's not really transparent anymore, it's a good notice that you probably need to change the solution and make a new one. As far as I understand, the rest of the companies which making C41 chemistry, they produce it in a quite diluted way, and it's not really good for storage, especially if it's a 2-part solutions. But after finishing all the preparations, it's quite easy to just heat up to 38 degrees, and as you remember from previous videos, I make it a little bit higher in temperature to just go down with the temperature with the mixing in the drum. And one of the biggest difference, I think, here, you don't really have any pre-wash, and you have only after wash, after Blix and after fix and before final stabilizer. And to be on the safe side, I will try to develop only 1 roll of film in a small portion of the drum, and for the next batch I will develop 35 and 120 film if everything will be fine with the first one. And I will judge the colors, and the good judgments of the colors, for me at least, it's if I scan the film and make simple conversion without any correction of the color and the white balance and so on. And I'm getting quite close results without any problems. It means I don't really have a huge shifts in color, and most of the time if I print it in a darkroom it will be crazy good, and I probably can set up something like 6060 filter and get reasonable result for initial start point. But the whole development cycle a little bit longer, and development is the same 3 minutes 15 seconds, and for the rest of the rolls it's a little bit higher, and you have it in the manual for this kit. But bleach and fix actually quite long, and it goes to the end, so it's I think 6 minutes 30 seconds as far as I remember from the manual. And it's thorough wash in between of the steps, which I also like. You just remove a lot of chemicals from the film, and your film in the end quite nice, drying, fresh and without any problems. And now let's look for the results. So far I think it's one of the best kits on the market. Once again, thank you for watching. It will be more photos later in my Instagram, so subscribe for the channel, for the Instagram, and see you in the next videos. Bye.